Hello friends, welcome back to Heartscapes and welcome to this final day of our 21-day journey with Reiki and poetry. My name is Michaela and I have a confession to make, which you might have already noticed that this video, our 21st video, due to be released on the Spring Equinox, is one day late. The Spring Equinox was yesterday and my day was filled with collaborations with creeks, walking with trees, making a garden-related video on a whole other topic, which should be up on my channel now, and an ill-fated journey to meet with a redwood that ended in failure and disappointment. But that is a story for another day, folks, because today we're here to gather one final time in this series for some Reiki-based meditation practice with poetry. I hope you've enjoyed this series. If you're just now dropping in for the first time, there is a whole playlist of the series. Most of the 21 days were recorded and shared here on this channel. For this final day, I wanted to share with you a poem from one of the books of poetry that I go to most often when I am teaching, when I'm leading circles, and when I'm in my own reflection. It's this book here, Prayers of Honoring by Pixie Lighthorse. And Pixie is an amazing author, amazing writer of prayers and poetry, and an amazing weaver of the themes of the natural world, close observation of what happens in nature through the cycles of nature, applying that both to our spiritual life, our spiritual existence, but also to the practical day-to-day decisions that we make as people going through our lives. And she does this with this amazingly beautiful style of poetic verse. I turn to these poems often. They're often almost like a guide. Like there's always the perfect phrase that comes through when I choose to use these poems in some sort of group or personal context. So I wanted to end our time together with a poem honoring new life, a poem or a prayer devoted to the opening of spring on this second day of spring. All right, friends, let us settle in for practice. Taking a couple of breaths, stretching your body, noticing if there's anything that you need to feel settled in this moment. Bringing our body into a posture for practice. And the posture that we've been cultivating throughout this practice, throughout this series, is one that relies on the strong stability of the structure of our body, the uprightness of our spine, the firmness of our feet on the ground. Relying on this structure to allow ourselves to settle into a vulnerable place. The firmness of the support of our body and of the earth below us, allowing for some flexibility, some relaxation, a lessening of the grip that we hold on our muscles, of our body and of our mind and of our spirit. And so as we settle into an easeful, upright posture, allowing the structure of our body and the supports below to hold us in an easefully upright position, I invite us to allow the muscles of our belly, of our chest, of our shoulders, of our jaw to become soft, to relax the grip that we often keep in these places, the shields that we often put in front of us, both physically and emotionally, psychically. Take this moment to lean into the trust of your own body, your own self, to hold you safe as you allow your soft places to become vulnerable. For isn't this what winter does for us as we turn towards spring? Soften the hard shell around the seed, preparing that shell to crack open so the soft and vulnerable seedling can open its new life into a world that is sometimes harsh, but also nourishing and beautiful. So as we turn towards springtime and lean into these first days, let's be sure to allow our outer shell to be soft so that the new life, the potential, that which is longing to be born through us in this time, can gently emerge. And we'll bring our breath into this emergence, allowing the softness of our belly to draw the breath in and down, allowing the belly to expand, to fill with the breath, and to gently release and contract naturally. And as we continue to breathe in this way, let's bring our mind into a posture for practice. Following the sensation of the breath with our mind in and down, drawing our focus to rest in our low belly. At the center of our body, the center of our energy, the energy center known as the hara, the first diamond, our rooted, ancestral, original place. Let's practice for a few breaths, drawing our attention in and down and resting in our low belly. And as we continue to breathe gently, resting our attention in our soft and vulnerable belly, the fertile, dark place at our center, I invite you to imagine and connect with the spark of life that dwells here. Your own great bright light existing as a spark at your center at all times. That spark of universal energy that became you and is living itself as you in this time. And today, on this second day of spring, I invite you to imagine this spark as a seed planted here at your center, vibrating with the energy of potential, of release, of new life ready to spring forward. Let's take a few moments to sense or imagine this spark, this seed at your center. And keeping your attention here, allowing your imagination to do with this seed what it most wants to do in this moment. As I nourish that seed with the words of this poem, Honoring New Life by Pixie Lighthorse. Thank you for the abundant life forces that pulses within us and enthusiastically welcomes the spring times we are waking up to. It's a blessing to feel the warmth of the sun on our heads and the moist soil of Mother beneath our boots. Thank you for spotted fawns, for thorny asparagus, for peonies, for the promising snowmelt, for cherry blossoms and new hash marks on our growth charts. Thank you for fresh buds and green sprigs, for early birdsong and chittering squirrels. Thank you for renewing our souls with hope as the season turns over. Let us think of every project as precious seeds. Guide our hands to plant with love, to water the rose with diligence, and to treasure the sowing process as much as the impending harvest. May we plant with conscious intention. When we have a very good idea, help our minds align with our hearts to know if it is the one to set in the soil. Let love drive the plow. Help us see each other in your unique creatures, each of us with special gifts designed to honor life. Remind us to acknowledge and celebrate our innate talents, to find creative ways to celebrate the gifts that you have given us in this lifetime. Show us new ways to express ourselves with more truth and clarity. Find us lying on your breast, Mama, under the blue sky nation, sprouting with each raindrop, breathing with the plants breathe, seeing what the birds see, feeling what the rabbits feel, sensing what the snake senses, and teach us to care for and preserve your invaluable resources so that the snakes, birds, rabbits, deer, and plants can continue to thrive, as well as the children. Instill in us the belief that we can create a world that we can be proud of and leave the earth more beautiful in the process. Work in our hearts so that we are open to sharing our harvest when it comes. Make good scouts of us so that we can follow a path of bliss and leave no trace. And breathing in what is for you in that reading today. And remaining in this space of receptivity, I invite you to turn your attention again to this seed that is planted in your center, nourished in your dark and fertile places. This spark of life that is longing to be born through you. That which is yours to express and to give in this time. And I invite you to ask this seed, what nourishes you? What nourishes you? And is there anything that you need from the whole of me in order to sprout and grow strong in this time? What does your potential need from you in order to be fully expressed this season? And let's take 10 more breaths together, being with this question, living this question. And breathing a couple more times in and down to your low belly. And as you feel ready, following an exhale up and out, back into the spaces around you, into this virtual space together, and giving yourself a gesture of completion. Joining me in a gesture of completion, not only for today's practice, but for this series of practice. And a gesture of welcome for the springtime which is beginning. Friends, welcome back. I hope that practice was nourishing for you. And if you engaged with those questions around in what ways can you intentionally align with whatever it is that is longing to be born through you this season. This could be in any area of life, in personal growth, in relationships, potential being expressed through your creative practices, through your work, through home renovation, through planting a garden. Whatever it is that you're longing to create in your life, in your communities this season, I invite you to spend a little bit of time in the question of what is one small thing that you can do in these first couple of days of spring to nourish that potential, to nourish that vision, to take a gesture in the direction of what you imagine and what you desire. And then take that action. Let it be small enough to be accessible and achievable. Share your intention with somebody else so that they can help you be accountable to it and celebrate it when you've done it. And then notice what happens when you focus attention on something that you love and take an action in service of that love, even a tiny one. Just notice the responding growth that will happen. And I would love to hear your reflections on that process. Let me know what happens, how it goes. And as you journey forward into this springtime, into this year, into your own creative endeavors, may you be deeply provisioned for every step of that journey. And I hope you'll choose to join me back here on this channel for more journeys, more adventures. And if there's a particular practice or theme that you would like to see explored through these practice sessions, if you enjoyed this series of practices over time, please let me know. It'll help me decide whether to do another 21-day journey in this format on YouTube. And I hope to see you then. Until then, I love you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.